So students will be joining and we will start after waiting for 2 minutes and we will start the session. Okay, thank you Akhil sir for the patience. Thank you.
Kamal, I think meantime you can make an announcement. Kamal and Herman.
Yes, sir. So we are starting up with the session in next 2 or 3 minutes. So I can see around 90 students have already joined in. So we are waiting for next 2 minutes. I suppose all the students they were attending their first lecture, and that would have ended at 10:30 a.m. and now they'll be shifting on to this Zoom ID within next 2-3 minutes. So the list is now 98 students have already joined in. So we'll just wait for next 2-3 minutes and then we can start off with the session. Today is there is going to be a very interesting topic for all the students, the existing students as well as for all the freshers also, because we are talking about something about technology or how to build your personal brand. So we have with us Mr. Akhil Junavitula from Visakhapatnam, and I'll be just introducing the guest speaker also once we are having around 150 participants. Still we are having 110 participants now. So with the next 1 minute, I suppose we'll be reaching 150. So we will be the guest expert lecturer or the expert that we have called from Visakhapatnam, and he has obliged us to bless us with his knowledge regarding the online personal branding, how to create a marketable resume that is going to be very relevant for our students, again for the third semester students particularly, because they are at that stage of their career where they have to make their resumes and they have to send it to the companies. And we have due to COVID also, the resume again is going to be a key issue, because companies may be going for virtual or Zoom or the Skype sessions rather than the physical meetings. Earlier, the companies were coming onto our campus, and now I suppose they will prefer, first of all, taking the telephonic interview or the Zoom interview. Then they can call the selected 10 or 8 or 5 or 10, depending upon the requirement of their company. They can call those students to their head office, or they can come to our campus again. So there is going to be some sort of shift also in the placement processes that we were following earlier. So now we have around 120 students. So it's again we'll wait for just I suppose 60 seconds. Then we can start off with our session, and meantime the students will be joining in. Again, I welcome all the freshers or all the new students. They are going ahead with their online induction classes, and we have got a very good response from all the students. We have I have got around 95 WhatsApp messages from students, like a sort of feedback of how their classes are going, how their classes are going on with the or did they face any kind of a difficulty. So out of 95, I suppose all the 95 had said that, sir, it is going great, and teachers or the faculties are very good, or the topics that we have chosen for them are very appropriate. Like there may be some kind of a decision making on the part of the government also, if your graduation or examinations are being held. So we are taking care of those things also side by side, and we have started off with some of the very relevant topics that are required for your courses. You can talk of BTech, MBA, BCA, MCA, or BBA, BCom. So we have chosen very particular topics for your online induction classes. So now we have around 130 participants. I suppose I should start with this session, and I would now introduce our guest speaker for today. So welcome everybody. I have the pleasure to introduce to you the expert lecturer for today. He's Mr. Akhil Jonavithula. He's just a 24-year-old digital marketer. So he's a very, very young entrepreneur, or you can say the digital marketer that we are seeing. And he's very expert in that particular thing, because I have observed from him from last 10, 15, 20 days. And he's very good at LinkedIn also. And so he's a digital marketer. He's a content creator, and he co-founded an award-winning digital marketing setup. He's also one of the most viewed writers for the topic startup business models on QUORA, and with almost 3 lakh views for his answers, and has around 14,000 followers and connections on LinkedIn. He's a LinkedIn consultant also, who advises students and the career beginners on how to leverage LinkedIn for jobs and how to create a marketable resumes. So for today and for tomorrow, so we are going to have Mr. Akhil Jonavithula on board for live webinar on building personal brand online, creating marketable resume, and building your personal branding. So I now invite Mr. Akhil to take over the session and bless us with his knowledge regarding all these technical stuffs. And I suppose the students at the end of the session would be learning a lot from today's session. Thank you, sir. Sir, I think your volume is on, so your mic is on mute.
Yeah, now is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm just going to share my screen straight away. Thank you for the introduction, sir. So all right. So I hope you can view my screen, everyone. So today we are going to talk about personal branding, right? So why is personal branding so important for all of us? And I'm going to take you through detailed process on how to growth hack LinkedIn. Tomorrow we are also going to see what kind of tools we are going to use to growth hack LinkedIn. And then how to build a marketable resume, because building a marketable resume is important, right? It's not about a CV or a resume which happens to be very formal or something like that, because your resume is going to be screened through multiple processes. So you need to make sure you cross all those processes and then you get into the HR room and then crack the interview, right? So we need to make sure it's marketable at the same time, not just with fancy keywords and stuff. And then we are also going to see what is online personal branding and how it is going to change someone's perception on you, right? So if you want to create a personal branding, personal brand for yourself, it's important that you portray yourself on different social media channels and relevant social media channels. It's not like you portray yourself on TikTok or something like that and then expect an employer to hire you straight away, right? So it's important that we need to make sure we pick up the right channels to personal brand ourselves, right? So before getting into any further slide, I just want to ensure that everyone is in sync with my presentation. So I just want to ask you, what is personal branding? So anyone can give me an answer for that, probably in the chat section. What is personal branding according to you, in your own words?
Students can use the chat box option. All the MBA third semester students must be using, they are already aware of using the chat box. Yes,
right.
Now we have.
All right, I'm getting some responses. Great. How we brand ourselves and how we represent ourselves. Okay. Create your own brand. Skills that we have to portray. Okay. The way we express ourselves. Okay. Creating own value. All right, you were all relevant in some or the other way, because see, it's all about portraying yourself on different social media channels, and then making sure that you create a personal brand for yourself. You need to stay ahead of the crowd. So I have a simple answer on why personal branding is important, right? Because no one else does it for you, definitely not for free, right? Today there are personal branding agencies that are maintaining the social media channels of celebrities and cricketers and politicians, etc. They charge lakhs of rupees a month to make sure that personal brand is being projected in a particular way that you see him as or see her as, right? So you need to ensure personal branding is done by yourself, because obviously we can't afford personal branding agencies to come in between and probably handle all our social media channels or something like that, right? So the main key focus here is to build personal brand online by self, right? And whenever you're building a brand or whenever you're positioning a brand in the market, what is one main thing you look into? If you're positioning a brand in the market, in a competitive market, you ensure that there is a USP associated with your brand or product, right? USP in the sense unique selling proposition, either to your brand or to your product. So that makes you stand ahead of the crowd. That makes your brand or product stand ahead of the crowd in competitive markets, right? So whenever you're probably coming up with a malt-based powder, something like Bonvita or Boost, you need to ensure you are different from them when you're positioning a brand, right? Similarly, when you're positioning yourself in a competitive market, in a rat race, I would say, where once one job is having somewhere around 1,500 or 2,000 applications in one single day, you need to ensure that your personal brand stands out there, and make sure that your resume is being portrayed in such a way that it's different from everyone else in that competitive market, right? So that's the main reason why personal branding is important, because no one else does it for you, and definitely not for free, right? So in this webinar, I just want to request you that you need to come along with me till the last slide of this presentation. Even though it's boring, I understand some might feel that I might be boring, or some might feel that my way of speaking is boring. But at the end of the day, the value you are going to get from this presentation is going to be immense, right? So I want to make sure that you continue along with me till the last slide. So here we are going to talk about creating a compelling story, how to create a compelling story, and then how to create a digital ID card. When someone is searching for your name on Google or probably Bing, what is that differentiates you, and what is that you need to focus to make sure that you are omnipresent on Google, right? That is one main thing we are going to focus. And then we are going to focus on improving search visibility. We're going to focus on creating podcasts, how to create podcasts, and what to record in your podcast. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what kind of stories you can tell in your podcast, because it's your own story. But I'm going to share with you my experiences on how I created my podcast and how it got published in various platforms. Now, after that, we're going to talk about QUORA presence. Why is presence in QUORA important, right? We're also going to talk about LinkedIn, tips to improve your profile on LinkedIn, and then how to interact with employers, investors on LinkedIn. If you're an entrepreneur, you might be looking for funding, right? If you have a startup, you might be looking for mentors, right? So how to interact with those mentors and how to interact with those investors to make sure that you actually have an interaction with them, build some build some important relations with them, and then ask them for funding straight away, right? So that's important, because interaction will lead to many other things. Networking is the key, right? And next, we're going to talk about extracting emails from LinkedIn profiles, right? How to extract emails, how to make sure we reach out to them with relevant email templates, right? It's not that you create a random email template by saying that, hello, sir, I need a job. I'm in need of a job. I'm actively looking for jobs. This won't help you, right? You need to create a compelling story. You need to tell what kind of achievements you have, what kind of skills you possess, and that's how you can reach out to these people, by forming proper email templates. I'm going to discuss about that tomorrow, and how to create marketable resume. Right, so these are all the things that we are going to discuss right from the beginning of the session to the end. So obviously, as I told you, I can't come into your shoes and ask you to tell your own story, right? Because you obviously know everything about yourself. But I'm going to tell you what are the key aspects that are required to create a compelling story online, right? The first thing, what is your fuel? Your fuel is your passion, right? So what is your passion? Why do you get into BBA or MBA? I know that there might be a lot of pressure in your homes, or probably by your family members or by your relatives, asking you to go for BTech, asking you to go for MTech, right? But why is that? What is that key thing that that pushed you to get into BBA or MBA? Or probably think this way: you might be forced to get into BBA or MBA, and then you join BTech out of your own passion. So why is that happening? What is that passion that is driving you to take your own decisions? So make sure your story consists of a passion that is fuel for your entire career, right? And the next thing you need to focus is on a reason for being influenced. Is there any person that influenced you? Is there any book that influenced you? Or is there any live activity that influenced you to become a marketer or an entrepreneur, or probably a HR professional? So what is that one main thing that is driving you? And what is that one, who is that one main person or a book or a live incident or an activity that motivated you or influenced you to become what you are today? So that is one main thing you have to focus on creating when you're creating a story, right? The next thing, you need to focus on your skills and achievements. Now, you might see a lot of skills that are being shared by everyone. Obviously, see, when you're a marketer, you say that I'm very much skilled in digital marketing. I know SEO, I know SEM, right? I also know how to run digital advertising on Google, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, whatever. But the thing is, what sets you apart is a USP, right? Your unique selling proposition. What else can you do? Everyone can run ads on Instagram and Facebook. Even now, you can just open YouTube and see, and you'll get tons of videos there on how to run advertisements on QUORA, on Facebook, on Instagram, on each and every channel, right? In fact, those tools are created in such a way that even a layman can use them. So what is the need of a digital marketer here? Or let me put it in this way. Every company has HR professionals, right? But why do they need you? They're already having many, right? Obviously, there are openings coming in, but they do have thousands of applications coming in. So why are you different? So if you want to become a HR professional or someone like that, what is making your profile stand out from the crowd? So that unique selling proposition is what you have to think about, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is creating your digital ID card. There are two ways that people search for you, right? I wish I could see some names here. Let me check it out. So probably, Kriti Batra was asking me a question. What is QUORA presence? So there's something called QUORA, which is a social media platform, I would say, which is a platform where you can gain a lot of knowledge, right? It's an open forum for everyone. You can go there, you can search for questions, you can get your answers, as well as you can answer someone else's question. So it's an open forum of discussion. So you can gain a lot of knowledge when you log into QUORA. If you create an account, log into QUORA, and then start answering to many questions that are available on different topics, right? You can start answering the questions if you know, or if you don't know any answers, you can also acquire knowledge by asking them relevant relevant questions, or asking other community members relevant questions of whatever doubts you have. So that is QUORA. I'll show you the website. I don't need to worry about that. So if someone is asking, if someone is searching for who is Kriti Batra, then there's one main thing that people do. They often get onto Google and type, who is Kriti Batra, right? Or probably they'll directly type Kriti Batra. And when someone is typing that, whenever someone is searching for that name, you need to own that Google page. If you're not owning that Google page, there is no reason why we are actually discussing about personal branding today. I'm going to show you a quick example on how things work. I'm not boasting of myself, but I just want to show you guys how things work and how things worked for me, at least. I'm here to tell my story, right? So if someone is searching for who is Akhil Janavitla, this is one search query that if someone puts on Google, now these are the search results I have, right? Now this is a featured snippet that you can see. This is a featured snippet that you can see. Featured snippets are nothing but the Google crawler will automatically crawl through different social media profiles you have and then take relevant content and post it on here. So this is called a featured snippet. Now, how do we get this featured snippet? It's very simple. You need to make sure you're present on LinkedIn. You need to make sure you're present on QUORA. Right? Now, these two platforms are the key because featured snippets, most of the times, Google crawler will take from this particular social media channels. Right? So my snippet is taken from LinkedIn straight away. You can see it has given the about section, right? So when someone is typing for who is Akhil Janavitla, I want to know more about him, then what happens is Google is automatically crawling through LinkedIn. It is taking my about section and showing that he's a content creator, storyteller, and a marketer with an undying passion for branding, marketing, and sales. Now, this is exactly the same thing that I have on LinkedIn. So it's actually, presenting that to you. Right? So this is how you focus on creating featured snippets. How to do that? Be present on LinkedIn, be active on LinkedIn. 2, be present on QUORA, be active on QUORA. Right? And then all the search results here you can find are of mine. You can see that there's a LinkedIn profile that's popping up. There is a QUORA profile that is popping up. Now there is a Your Story. If you know Your Story, you need to follow Your Story. It is a magazine that covers all stories of entrepreneurs, startups, etc. So my story was featured on Your Story. And then there's Karma Circles, which is exclusively for entrepreneurs. And then you look at the images, at least top 10 images belong to my personal branding, right? They're all my images. There's no one meddling in between, right? So when someone is searching for Akhil Janavitla, initially, when I did not focus much on personal branding, I used to get a lot of images of other Akhils who are there, right? Who are not Akhil Janavitlas, but who are someone else, and they are popping up in my images. So I thought this is not cool. This Google page belongs to me, right? You need to have that selfishness and you need to start focusing on personal branding straight away. All right. Now this is my podcast, which is featured on Castbox. Now, the entire first page of Google is mine. No matter what HR finds me out, no matter what CEO finds me out, no matter whoever finds me out, there's one thing for sure. They're going to find me in the first page of Google, right? So that is how you make a difference. And now you might ask me, who will have the patience to type, who is Akhil Janavitla, man? I just want to find out who is Akhil Janavitla. Just that search query. I just don't want all this stuff. Who is Akhil Janavitla and stuff. No, if someone is typing for Akhil Janavitla, straight away, again, there is everything related to my profile. You can't find something that is not related to me. Everything is related to my profile, even my Twitter account, everything related to me. Now, one activity that I'm going to tell you is go search for your name and see what Google results you're finding. And that's how you can build your personal branding online. You can see that you can optimize your Google page and make sure you're focusing on staying active on LinkedIn, QUORA, and other mediums where Google pulls the information and shows it to all your HR professionals, all your lecturers, or all your employers, I would say. And the next thing, you might have learned about this people cards, right? Google has introduced this feature called people cards, where you can automatically log into your mobile's Gmail account or Google account, and then create your own people card, right? I'm going to show this to you tomorrow with a detailed illustration. Today, it's going to be more of theory. So if it's boring, please excuse me for that. Now, how to improve search engine visibility. As I was telling you, you need to own the Google's first page and second page. At least 2 pages of Google should be yours. So that if someone randomly clicks on any link, they should go find out about you, right? So one main thing is that you need to have a multi-channel presence. You need to be active on QUORA, on LinkedIn, probably on professional sites like Karma Circles, right? You can make a small note out of this because I've not mentioned the social media channels here, right? You can share a lot of podcasts, which will be again featured on Google in the first or second page, right? And when you're creating multi-channels, my dear friends, make sure that you focus on creating the same name and same story everywhere. It's not that you have one summary or one bio or one description in LinkedIn and you have some other description on QUORA. That doesn't work for you, right? If you have a description or if you have a bio on LinkedIn, then you need to make sure that you have the same description and same story across all your channels. So when you're focusing on omni-channel approach, on omni-channel digital approach or multi-channel presence, you need to make sure that this is one key element that you focus on, right? Second thing, own that images page too, right? So make sure the first 10 images would be yours when someone searches for your name on Google. I'm not asking if someone, if someone is typing Gurtaj or something like that, there's no need for your name to pop up because there might be many Gurtaj. But if someone is typing for Gurtaj Singh, at least then you need to make sure that at least 2 to 3 results. I know that there will be many Gurtaj Singhs in Punjab, but you need to make sure that at least 2 to 3 results would be yours, right? And the key to that is being active on LinkedIn, following more people, building more connections, answering questions on QUORA, gaining that knowledge from QUORA, right? And then last but not the least thing, it's your story should be the same on every medium, as I said you. Make sure relevancy is there. Make sure everything is in sync, right? Otherwise, you lose the chance to leverage on social media or online digital platforms. Now I've enclosed a tool for you. I've enclosed a tool about creating podcasts. The tool is anchor.fm, right? It's free to use, absolutely free. You can go there, you can log in, and then make sure that you create podcasts of yourself. Now you might ask me, Akhil, I'm not interested in podcasts, man. I want to make sure I lead a low-key profile. I lead a general life. I just don't want to make podcasts and make myself famous. See, I'm not asking you to become famous. I'm asking you to make sure that you stand ahead of the crowd that's there, right? What to speak in podcasts. I know that you might not know many topics. I know that there are a lot of BBA freshers here. You might not know everything related to digital marketing or search engine optimization or search engine marketing. No, I'm not talking about all of them. Talk about your story. Talk about your own story in your own words, right? No one is going to criticize you for the language you use. Someone might be like, I'm going to create a podcast in Hindi because I just don't know English and I'm comfortable speaking in Hindi or Punjabi. Go ahead and make sure that you create a podcast. Make sure that your story is visible to everyone, right? So anchor.fm is a tool that helps you create podcasts. And I'll tell you the beauty of this tool. Once you create a podcast, it will publish to various platforms like Spotify, like many other, like what you have seen, like many casts, and it will publish to many websites. Up to 40 to 50 websites would be having your content just if you record a podcast on anchor.fm and then click on the publish button. It will automatically publish to all the platforms, right? Including Spotify. That's what I meant. So publish your podcast to multiple channels, including Spotify through anchor.fm. And then this also improves your Google's presence and online visibility, because obviously Google is going to extract all that information and put it on the first page of Google no matter what. I'm able to see quite a few questions. I'll be answering them. So I hope this slide is clear for you. It's anchor.fm, anchor.fm. What to record? Record your own story, right? Record your own story of success and failure. How did you come this far? Why did you choose BBA? Why did you choose MBA? And what makes you different from others? What are your skills? What are your achievements? Create a roadmap. What is your future plan? Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? Publish a podcast for at least 7 to 8 minutes. Done. Now, someone was asking me before, what is QUORA? So it's very simple. Read and write answers related to a specific topic, right? You can read answers, you can acquire knowledge. At the same time, you can share the knowledge that you have gained to various other users in the platform. You get that? So QUORA works as a knowledge source. You can, it's the same like Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is more like you won't see other users interacting with you. It is also an open knowledge forum, but in QUORA, it's more like you post a question and someone looks at the question and then answers. It's more specific, I would say, more specific than QUORA. More specific than Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia has some generic information and you need to search for your answers there. You need to highlight some points and search for your answers. But QUORA presence is something else, right? You can obviously type a question, wait for 2 days, and probably someone else would answer in your community, right? It's open for everyone. Your questions would be open for everyone on QUORA. Now, it's important to write a good description. So whenever you're creating a QUORA profile, make sure that you have the description correct. Make sure that the LinkedIn description is the same as the QUORA description. As I was telling you, when you're focusing on multiple channels, make sure you have the same story everywhere. It's okay, just copy paste whatever you have written on LinkedIn as a summary and then paste it on QUORA as a QUORA description, right? The next main thing, read and write answers related to specific topic. For example, digital marketing, consumer behavior, entrepreneurship, whatever you have, whatever questions you have related to human resource management, related to operations, related to sales management, related to branding, you have answers for everything. Not only business, but you can also find a lot of BTech related stuff too, right? So you can search for anything and get anything on QUORA. Blog writing. As I was telling you, it's important to make sure that you maintain a blog, right? Maintain a blog. If you're not interested in maintaining a blog, if you're not interested in spending that 999 rupees a year for hosting and web charges, then you have a lot of other options. As I've written, you can write them down. There's something called Medium. There's something called Your Story, right? These are all the platforms where you can write your content, publish your content, and you'll get organic reach there, because there are a lot of readers who are already reading Medium. There are a lot of readers who are already reading Your Story as a magazine. There are lakhs of users that are doing that. There are lakhs of entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, investors, everyone who's reading articles on mediums like platforms like Medium and Your Story. So it's important that you focus on that, write your articles there, and get some traction out of that. Now the most important part. It is LinkedIn's algorithm 2020, right? I know it might be a bit advanced for the freshers, but I highly recommend you to go through these and make sure you get a knowledge on what LinkedIn is actually doing and how it is prioritizing content. So LinkedIn prioritizes content from users who you have engaged with in the past and who post consistently, right? So for example, take an example. There's someone called Aman Singh, and he's publishing content from the past 6 months. He's publishing continuous content, and he's making sure that his content is visible to everyone, right? Now what LinkedIn does is, LinkedIn will take Aman Singh's content each and every time, and it shows to everyone who he's not connected to also, right? I'm not connected to Aman Singh, but then his content is doing well. He's posting continuous content, like weekly, twice or thrice on LinkedIn. And so what LinkedIn's algorithm does is, yes, this guy is consistent, so let's make sure he only has 100 connections, but let's make sure that more people watch this. Now that's how Aman Singh's content would be published across LinkedIn's profile, and probably he might end up getting some 1,000 views or 1,500 views and probably some 50 or 40 likes. No one knows, right? So that is one main thing of LinkedIn's algorithm. And the second thing, prioritize content from users who get large amounts of engagement, even if you're not connected with them. Now, there might be many people who are not connected with me, but probably sometimes what LinkedIn does is, if my content is doing well, it will share it to more people who are not my connections also. So you might see my content irrespective of you connecting with me or not, because I'm posting content regularly on LinkedIn. Next, favors lengthy comments over a high volume of reactions. No matter you got 20 comments, you got 60 comments, or you got 90 comments. Now, if your post has got lengthy comments, okay, what LinkedIn does is it favors them. It favors them, and it will make sure, again, your content is reached out to many people, as many people as possible. I won't say that entire LinkedIn would be able to see your content, but definitely more than your connections. So if your connections are 100, it might show to probably some 10x people, some 1,000 people if your content is doing really well on LinkedIn. And if you have lengthy comments. Why lengthy comments? Because people are discussing on your post. For example, you have written something on brand positioning, and you have written a very good topic. You have studied from your textbook, but then you have made some changes, and then you have kept your view on LinkedIn. Now, what happens is, when someone discusses about your LinkedIn post, LinkedIn prioritizes that and immediately pushes the content to multiple people. Now, that is one main algorithm change of LinkedIn 2020. Next, prefers native content with a lot of informative text. You can obviously post videos, but if you're really happy with posting a lot of informative text, then it would be fantastic, because LinkedIn encourages text over anything else. Write your own content. Make sure that it's not copied from anywhere else. It's okay if you have grammatical mistakes initially. You'll definitely improve. Use Grammarly. I guess you all know Grammarly as a tool. So use Grammarly and start posting content on LinkedIn. It will definitely help you, right? Now, also in 2020, this is one main change. LinkedIn is continuing a trend that they started in 2019, which is they won't prioritize content from mega influencers. All right. Today I have 14,000 connections, but I know I have started from zero, right? There might be 1 lakh people. There might be people with 1 lakh connections, right? But LinkedIn will make sure mega influencers won't take over your content. What does that mean? It's not only their kingdom. LinkedIn is everyone's kingdom, right? You create a content, you have 1 follower, but you have written very good content, then probably you might get more views. Someone is commenting on your post with a lengthy comment, and you reply to that with a lengthy comment. There's some discussion going on there. LinkedIn observes that. LinkedIn's algorithm observes that. And then what LinkedIn does, it'll again, multi-fold it. It'll probably show it to 10 followers, 10 users. You only have 1 follower, but it'll show it to 10 users, right? So that's one main thing here. In 2020, LinkedIn has adopted this from 2019's algorithm, saying that we are not going to push only the content of mega influencers. We are also going to publish content that you have, if it's generic, if it's unique, and if it's getting engagement, and if it's also having lengthy comments when it's having a discussion, right? Now, one main thing to focus on here is you people start connecting with one another, right? So probably there are 300 students in a PJ, at least if it comes to management field, and probably connect with your lecturers, connect with your with Converser, connect with everyone on LinkedIn. And that's how LinkedIn gives you some more suggestions. Keep on connecting with them every day. Probably send connections to 20 to 30 people each and every single day, and make sure you build relations with them. Once you build relations with them, once you have professional conversations with them on LinkedIn, whenever you post something on LinkedIn, they'll know that, yes, I have texted him, right? So probably I have to like this, right? So probably if you post something, probably your lecturer might find it interesting, and she might like the post, or he might like the post, right? And he might give a comment. And now what happens? This lecturer's followers will also be able to see that. I said, right, it's a multi-fold algorithm. Once it's doing well, it will go like wildfire, right? The immediate thing you will do is start connecting with your fellow mates whoever is present on LinkedIn. That would help you a lot. Now tips to improve your LinkedIn profile. These are the main tips I would say. Maintain an all-star profile, right? Keep updating all sections of your profile. It's not that you create a LinkedIn profile, use it like a resume building platform, and then go and chill on Facebook or Instagram. Don't do that. Make sure that you'll be on Instagram 20 minutes a day, Facebook 20 minutes, but then make sure you'll be on LinkedIn for 40 minutes at least each and every day. Akhil, LinkedIn is boring. What I'll do for 40 minutes? Keep on clicking that connect button. You never know when you'll be connecting with the HR of a very big company, right? You'll never know when you'll be connecting with some investor, right? You'll never know when you'll be connecting with some very good professor who can turn a mentor for you on LinkedIn, right? So make sure that you maintain an all-star profile, update all the sections of your profile, right? I'm going to show you an example on how this works. I'm sure that you're able to see my profile on LinkedIn. So you can see that this is an all-star profile. What does that all-star profile mean? It's not a tag or something. It's not an achievement. But LinkedIn gives you the status of an all-star profile when you fill all the columns of the profile. You need to have a proper headline. Now this is called a headline. I'll be showing you the headline formula, but this is called the headline, right? And then probably you can find an about description. You need to update this about section, right? And then you can have an advantage of these featured posts. You can see the engagement levels of my featured posts, right? Why am I getting this much engagement? It's not that I am a huge entrepreneur or something like that, but why am I getting this this much engagement on LinkedIn? You can see the number of views. It's 9,379 views for my post, right? You can see that there are almost 400 reactions and there are 54 comments. You can see there are lengthy comments, and LinkedIn loves lengthy comments, as I said to you. Now, I'm showing you this not to boast off about myself, not to show off in front of you, but I'm just giving you an example of how the LinkedIn algorithm works. LinkedIn loves lengthy comments, and then LinkedIn loves genuine content. I've written it out of my personal experience. This is not copied from somewhere else. I've started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 20 years old. I wear my failures as a badge of honor. I have written about my failures here. I don't write about my successes. I know what kind of failures I've faced when I was 20 and what kind of learnings I had. That is what is this post is. It got almost 10,000 views on LinkedIn. And people find it to have at least 100 views on LinkedIn because they won't write genuine content. They just copy content from somewhere else, right? So you need to make sure you're in sync with this particular thought, and then make sure you update everything, right from your experience, right from your work experience, right from your education, right from your licenses and certifications. Make sure you add these credential IDs whenever you're putting your licenses and certifications. It's not that you have done some random course and then you paste it here and you forget about this. No. Have a credential ID. When some HR or some employer is searching for your profile, they need to understand that this guy is genuine and this guy has done his homework. This guy has done his course and he's very honest about his course. Because when will you be honest about a course? When you learn something, right? Otherwise, you'll just have that course as a name and then you forget about that. That won't work like that. Add some volunteer experience. Reach out to people, man. I'll tell you something. Reach out to people at a PJ, right? Asking them for different volunteering opportunities. You're not doing it for any money, right? Volunteering is free of cost. Now, why don't you go to Canvas or why don't you go to someone else who is the head of your campus and ask him about being a campus ambassador? Why don't you go and ask him about being an ECEL entrepreneurship cell student coordinator? Why don't you do this? I mean, it's a simple thing. It's a simple approach. You go to them, you ask them. They're not paying you money anyways, so they're going to definitely accept your proposal if you're really willing to work for that role. Now you go. I see a couple of students who have been campus. Who are focusing on placement coordination. So you too go there. Go to Mr. Kanwar and ask him if I could be a member of this panel, right? That way, you can at least have something to show on your resume that makes it different from others. Otherwise, why should someone hire you just because of the fact that you got 95% in 10th, 97% in 12th, and 99% in BBA or MBA? It doesn't matter, right? You need to have proper volunteer work experience, and you reach out to people, you reach out to your lecturers and ask them how you can get this volunteering experience. I know not many people would ask, but I would be very happy if at least 10 people of you would recognize this and ask your ask your lecturers or professors on how to become a volunteer, on how to take up responsibilities inside the campus, and make sure you focus that on your profile. Now ask for a lots and lots of recommendations, right? Fill this profile with recommendations. I have somewhere around 7 to 8 recommendations, right? All of them come from my professors, my lecturers, my clients, and my fellow entrepreneurs, everyone who's focused on something else. Now you can find this guy, Mr. Harsh Srivastava. He happens to be the entrepreneurship cell head of LPU, Lovely Professional University. I've gone towards him and asked him a recommendation, and he happily said okay, because I have been the entrepreneurship cell coordinator for 3 months. Now will that help you? It'll definitely help you. It's not boasting or it's not showing off. It'll definitely help you when you're applying for a job. Someone else would look at this and he or she will feel that yes, this guy has got potential, or this girl has got potential, right? It's important you add a lot of courses, whatever you're doing. It's important you add honors and awards, whatever awards you have. Now I've got this best leadership qualities when I was in school level, but I've mentioned that. Why? Because it's going to give a credibility on who you are and what kind of a personality you are, right? Write the languages you know, right? And then write the projects, whatever projects you have done. What are the publications you have? Any publications that you have done on any platform? So I have given it on your story. So I have written that. Mention your J-mains test scores and all the interests. So this is called a fully updated LinkedIn profile. I can show you various examples tomorrow if you want, and if you feel that my profile is not so interesting. But all I want you to learn from this is focus on building an all-star profile. That's definitely helpful. And even if you feel that it's not useful, it's definitely helpful. And as I said, even if 10 people could follow my tips on improving LinkedIn profile, it would be great. Now, this is a headline formula you have to use. I've shown you the headline, right? Now, how to use headlines. So this is the first part, is a keyword filled overview. That means you can look at this example. He says that he's a data scientist, he's expert in machine learning and analytics managing. Now, these are the keywords. When someone is searching for you on LinkedIn, when some employer or HR or some CEO of a company is searching for you on LinkedIn, make sure that you have these keywords: data scientist, machine learning, analytics manager, or probably if it comes to your field, probably I'll talk about BBA or MBA. You can write that social media marketing, content marketing, and digital paid ads, something like this. I'm just giving you an overview. You can also write branding expert, personal branding expert, and then you can give what kind of value you illustrate with that. So here is a value illustration in the second part. You can divide it by a pipeline, by a standing pipeline, and say that driving growth across 170 million members. Right? Now this could be very helpful for you, as when someone is searching for you, they'll get hold of your profile very easily. Right? It's keywords, and then it's what kind of value you provide. Now, if you're not getting that, I'm again going to show you the LinkedIn. This is the headline, LinkedIn headline. Whenever you're editing that on LinkedIn, you'll get to know. No need to worry about that. So what I've written that branding, marketing, and sales, those are my keywords. When someone is searching for branding, marketing, or sales, I want to make sure that at some or the other part of the world, someone finds me for branding, or someone finds me for marketing, right? And they can also see the value that I'm adding. I say that I'm a LinkedIn consultant, and I consult students and career beginners on how to start off with a LinkedIn profile, right? I hope that this is helpful. Now, this is a headline that you should avoid. There are many people that I've seen who keep on saying that I'm actively looking for jobs, I'm actively seeking for new opportunities, actively seeking for high-paid job opportunities. Who will give you high-paid job opportunities if you're not presenting yourself well? That's a simple question you need to ask for yourself, right? Actively seeking new opportunities doesn't mean that some HR or some other CEO of a company will look at your profile, show some empathy, and give you a job. This is a hard reality. It might find offensive, but this is a hard reality, right? Never post something like actively seeking for new jobs, actively seeking for new opportunities. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not showing any name here because I just don't want to, bully them or something like that. The main thing is make sure you'll be an asset to their company. No one is going to show sympathy or empathy towards you. The only thing an employer or a HR personnel would be having is, does this guy or does this girl add value to my company when I hire him or her? Now that happens only if you use proper keywords. Why are you unique from others, and what kind of results you can deliver? So the next big thing, as I said, the course ID and all, you need to mention that, as I've shown you in my LinkedIn profile. Share content very frequently and tag people. I guess Mr. Kanwal sir is having some LinkedIn base. I've seen that. So make sure you tag him on all your posts, right? Tag him on all your posts and make sure that you get all the feedback from him. Probably he might like your post and he might comment on your post. Right now, what happens? His followers would be able to see that. And then if some of his followers like that, if 10% of his followers like that, and again, another 10% of his followers would be reached via this post, right? So your content should speak. Share frequently, like weekly, twice. If you're not doing anything, then make sure that you at least post polls, right? There's a poll option like Facebook or anything like Instagram story. You'll have a poll option. So make sure you post a poll and see if it's working out for you, right? And then interact with people. As I said, you send them messages and have professional conversations. That's important. It's not a friendly platform where you can have some friendly conversations, but make sure you have some professional conversations all throughout, right? And then always be connecting with lots and lots of people. Ask for recommendations from your lecturers. I'm very sure that your lecturers would be happy to give a LinkedIn recommendation for you, because that would be very helpful for your careers, right? You should interact with posts. Whenever you see a post, like that, share that, comment that, but make sure you interact with them so that you'll be active on LinkedIn and you can burn some time on LinkedIn very productively, right? The next main thing, use featured posts feature. As I've shown you, use those featured posts. Whatever posts are doing well, make sure that you have this featured posts as a section, right? Whichever posts they're doing well. Now I'm going to give you a last assignment if you're really interested on what I've said, and if you're really interested on whatever I have gone through in the presentation. So you can complete this and probably get a chance to win a 3-in-1 course package. I'm going to give it completely free. I'm going to talk with Mr. Kanwal sir and see how I can send it through Google Drive or something like that. I'm going to give you a bundle course which will have Facebook marketing, QUORA marketing, and YouTube marketing. Right? It's going to be extremely useful for the digital marketers who want to excel in the field of digital marketing. I'm going to give that, and it's not a course that is delivered by me, but then I've bought that course, but I'll be happy to share that with you guys. So the step 1 here is create your people card on Google. You can just search for add me to search on your mobile phone, and then you can find out various ways, or you can even find out how to create a people card on YouTube. Otherwise, I'll be showing it tomorrow. But if you can explore it yourself and see how to create a Google card, it would be great. Create a people card and optimize your LinkedIn profile as I've shown, right? If you have just 20 minutes of your time on your LinkedIn, you can optimize your profile to all-star profile, like the profile that I've shown, right? Make sure you do that in the first step. Second step, you can follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll definitely give your profile a view. I'll make sure, I'll see if your profile is having that all-star profile. And then if you're really eligible for that, I'll make sure I'll speak to Kanwal sir and I'll send that courses for you, right? The last slide. So tomorrow we are going to talk about secret tools to master LinkedIn game, right? I'll be giving you the secret tools that I want you to keep it as a secret. I just don't want to, I just don't want you to give it to your friends also. I'm being honest with this. You need to make sure that you make use of the secret tools and then make sure how to leverage the LinkedIn game, how to make sure you get that growth hacking done on LinkedIn, and how to have a conversation with employers, HRs, and other C-level officers, how to be professional on LinkedIn, and how can these tools master your LinkedIn to growth hack your profile. I'm going to share this tomorrow, and I pretty much know there are somewhere around 109 people right now who are watching this presentation, and I'm just telling you guys, this is going to be a secret tool presentation, and if someone is missing it tomorrow, make sure you don't share anything with them also, because this is going to be a secret mission that will be on tomorrow, and you'll find these tools nowhere else. Yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I guess we had an interactive session today. I'm sorry I couldn't able to answer all your questions, but I'll take them tomorrow. If you could pose the same questions tomorrow, please. So I'll be going through all of them tomorrow personally, and I'll be giving you one-on-one, and I'll be requesting some 15 minutes of extra time with Mr. Kanwal sir tomorrow for answering all your questions. Thank you so much, and probably yeah, a recording of radio program. Okay, someone has given an answer for podcast. Yeah, podcasts are more like audio stories, right? You can share your stories in an audio format. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead, guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving such a knowledgeable session to our students. And you have it was a very relevant and apt topic, I must say, for our students. And because as far as new students are concerned, they have joined this institution because of our placements. Right. And LinkedIn is the like a thing from which they can get a number of opportunities by just being present on the LinkedIn. So thank you again, sir. Thank you so much. And we would look forward to see you tomorrow for the last session.
Sure, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day ahead, everyone.
So now I request all the students, you can take 5 minutes break for from your regular class, and then all the new students would join after 15 minutes. You can join your previous Zoom IDs, like the Zoom ID that you used for your first lecture. I will repeat the Zoom IDs. For MBA, it is 959 0647 5219. For MBA, I again repeat 959 0647 5219. For BBA and BCom, it is 812 5971 2862. I repeat, for BBA and BCom, it is 812 5971 2862. And for all other courses, all the technical courses, it is 835 8331 0638. I repeat, 835 8331 0638. So I request all the new students, they must attend their regular session or the last two sessions for the day. And you can take a 15 minutes break, or you can take 10 minutes break, and then you can join these Zoom IDs. So we look forward to see you again tomorrow for this particular webinar regarding LinkedIn. And that is going to be a very good session, because as sir has already told, it is going to be like you'll learn about the secrets of LinkedIn. So thank you so much for joining.
Uzair? We can close the meeting.
Hello.